Again, Gabe Zollner. You know, there's another little article that I wanted to sort of highlight. And before I get into the article, I did a video a few days ago, and that's where apparently Obama was asking his top military brass if they'd fire on American citizens. And, you know, he was doing like a litmus test to determine, I guess, to who's loyal. He wanted to know if they would obey the commander-in-chief no matter what, which would include, if that's what the order was, to fire on American citizens. There's no report that I'm aware of that came back that said who would and who wouldn't. But the simple fact that he asked the question, if he asked the question, because again, you can't believe what the media tells us, is pretty scary. But this is interesting as well. Now, take that little piece of information and add it to this. Machine gun fire from military helicopters flying over downtown Miami, Florida. Now, WSVN, they reported it, I guess, last night or 2 nights ago. And what apparently happened was there was I guess a football game or a soccer game or whatever kind of game. And so at first when they saw the police cars coming in to block off streets, they thought it was to relieve the traffic going home from the game. And then they learned that that's really not why those cars were there. So it was a joint exercise between the police and the military. And what happened was once they got a certain section around the Biscayne Bay area blocked off, a number of Blackhawk helicopters, and they're pretty awesome looking machines in the daytime, let alone at night, they came swooping down, and people living in their apartment buildings, a number of them took a lot of videos, and what these helicopters were doing was they were going with the machine guns. Now the reporter said that they were blanks, but I mean, how does he know what they were? And a lot of people in the apartment buildings were freaking out. They were hitting the floor. They thought they were getting shot at. Now, is this like maybe a dry run? Or is this like a message that they're sending? This is really scary stuff, you know? I mean, you take into consideration that Obama, if he asked, which I believe he did ask, if his military would obey him, if he sent an order to shoot on American citizens. And then you got, you know, the Secretary of State, Janet Napolitano, buying, you know, 1.5 billion rounds of ammunition, and now we just find out she's trying to buy 7,000 assault rifles. When I say trying to buy, I'm sure she already got them. You start putting all these little pieces together, and again, the pieces of the puzzle usually end up with a picture, and this picture is frightening. Yeah, pretty nuts, huh? And yeah, I'd say if you're not a subscriber to Before It's News, you might want to sort of tune in, because they have an awful lot of good information. So does Western Center for Journalism. As far as WorldNet Daily, they usually come up with some real good articles, but I'm getting a little bit tired of their sales pitch. They're always trying to sell books, or, you know, I mean, I'm tired of that. I don't want to see that. If I want to buy a book, I'll go down to the bookstore. I don't want them always pitching books, and that's what they tend to do, because I guess that's a significant revenue source for them. But hey, listen, it is what it is. But what it really comes down to is, I think, scary. What do you think?